I was born in a little town in South Central Texas called Somerville, Texas. And I'll bet no one there has ever heard of it, but it's about 180 miles north of Houston, if that's helpful. I lived there with my parents until I was about 6. And after my father died, my mother had to move to a larger city where she could find work to take care of her 2 girls, because, back in that day, wives didn't work except in the home. So she had to make a move, and it was a good move for me. I received all of my education in Texas except for the master's degree at UNLV. I still love to go by my elementary school when I visit home, because it's right across the street from the Houston Tillotson College, which is an HBCU. And as a little kid, we would go over and roller skate on the tennis courts, and the college kids would run us away because we would fall into the nets and all of that stuff and tear up things, of course. I was always grateful that in the summer, my mother would send my sister and I on the Greyhound bus by ourselves 110 miles to Somerville, Texas. And we would spend 2 weeks with my dad's parents and 2 weeks with my mother's parents. And I'm grateful because since she did that, I know all of my first cousins on both sides. And that's unusual, I guess, when people move away from where their home place is. I graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Texas in Austin in 1963. And I moved to Las Vegas permanently in 1964 and started work as a social worker. Back in that day, if you had a degree in anything and could pass the civil service exam, you could be hired as a social worker. And I'm also proud of being one of the organizing members of the BCon Baccalaureate program for graduating seniors. In addition to that, Mr. Goins probably remembers that I chaired the Civil Service Board in North Las Vegas for about 13 years. And the thing that I am most proud of now is that we were able to get into the code that chokeholds were not permitted. So I assume that that's still there. I've done other things, lots of things throughout the district, teaching, Title I coordinator, elementary principal, assistant personnel manager, and I retired as area superintendent for the Southwest area. At UNLV, I worked with the Gear Up programs, which was another federal program in partnership with our school district. It also was a college readiness program. I do like working with people, working in organizations to achieve goals that we need to achieve as a people.